This is the Carty Method Podcast.
Hey, welcome. Today it is Photo Review Thursday. We do this every Thursday, but we also now do it every Tuesday. Tuesdays is portfolio reviews. I want to see your existing pictures that you're considering for your portfolio. Thursdays, I give you an incredibly tight brief that I want you to shoot for your portfolio. One thing that's important to remember is that the photo assignments have to be submitted from a desktop. You can't submit your photos from mobile because mobile compresses your photos. A couple of you submitted your photos mobile this week, and you're about to see how bad they're going to look on a 4K screen. So please submit from your desktop. Care about it enough. Care about the submission enough. And also, you're not following the sizes. 4,000 pixels wide. You can't set your pixel dimension on your phone. So please, for those people who are new, and you know who you are, please submit 4,000 wide. Guys, I'm excited about this week's assignment. This week I asked you to make reflections to create an image within your niche. Super simple. Use reflective surfaces to create an image within your niche and make a single image that uses reflection specifically. If you're a product photographer, use a mirror, use glass, use water to make reflections and enhance your image. If you're a people photographer, use glass, use mirror, use a water, or something else in order to show reflection. And if you shoot places, use glass, use mirrors, use water, or use perspective to shoot through things if it shows reflection. So that was my request. I wanted a multi-dimensional feeling this week, and it is a vertical assignment. So again, if you didn't follow any of these very specific requirements, which are inside the assignment, including the due date, Wednesday midnight, Eastern time. I know if you're on the West, that means you have to have your photo submitted by 9 p.m. Wednesday. But guess what? You should have your photo submitted the day before. You should have it submitted on Tuesday. You should have it submitted on the weekend. You should have it submitted way before the last day in the final hours, because some of you didn't make the cut today because you submitted after our deadline. All right, so shoot order. Today we are starting with Dana McKenzie. Dana says, hey Carty, for this week's assignment, I'm submitting a composite image. One image to capture the glowing MSR tent with a faster exposure, and one long exposure to capture the Kokanee Glacier Lodge, lake, and stars. So it's a double exposure. It's not breaking the rules at all. Let's have a look at it, Dana. Ladies and gentlemen, Dana McKenzie. Dana. So it's definitely not, it's not breaking the rules. I mean, the idea was to show reflection. Now, where we are breaking a little bit of rules is with exposure. If you did double exposure, if you exposed for this and then you also exposed for this, if you did it in two stages, the first stage or the second stage, whatever the stage was, that was the tent is too bright. This is really overexposed, specifically this area right here. This is at least +1 over, like twice as bright. You can see how the wood is actually burning out here. The exposure in here could have been way less, like by over half. It's going to make a huge difference. As far as the reflection, you definitely nailed the reflection. I think that this is totally dope, and seeing the stars in the sky is totally dope. Let's look at it close up. When we look at it close up, Dana, now I'm really starting to see some focus issues. You can see how we actually are really losing focus here in the logo, and the overexposure doesn't help. It's because if you're exposing for too long, there's wind. If you're not on a rock solid tripod, that also becomes a little bit difficult. So focus is a huge thing. Oops. And you can also see that our focus is really, here we go. Our focus is really quite down here. like in the very bottom quadrant of the photo is where our tightest focus is, but we're actually not motion blur. We're actually just out of focus here with the tent. So, oops, I keep advancing to the next picture. So I have a bit of issues with that. And then let's look at back here. Back here as well, we're also dealing with a little bit of focus in our brightest areas of the photo here. In the tree line, let's see up here. It's like it seems here you went up here for your focus. You decided to go into the tree line for your focus instead of using like a really deep f-stop so you could get even more like shooting at like f22. So with this one, Dana, we're missing a couple of elements. This is a miss for me not because of the double exposure, but more because of the execution. We missed in there. We missed here. So these two spots for me, it's like I would really love to see just stronger exposure in your main. This has to be perfect. And then your focus point should be the brightest point where your eye's going to go in the background, which is really here more so than the tree line. But also when you're doing a deep shot like this, you got to try to get this at the craziest, deepest f-stop that you can do, especially if you're doing a long exposure. Dana Mackenzie. Thanks for submitting, Dana. For me, this one was a bit of a miss, but again, it's like you're a great photographer. You swung for the fences. You tried to do something different this week, which I appreciate. Just watch your exposure. Watch your exposure on the tent, and if you were to shoot this again, just make sure that you're doing test frames and that you just like, if you shot this again, you would be like, oh my God, this is so much better. And you'd realize you don't have to go anywhere near how bright you had the light inside the tent. You don't have to go anywhere near how bright you had the light inside the tent. Like if that's at 100%, it needs to be at 20. And then shoot that at f22 and do tests until you nail that exposure and before you move on to the second shot. I hope that brought you value. This is Dana Mackenzie, everybody. All right. Our next submitter is a new photographer submitting. Her name is Janine Figueroa. Janine says, hello, here's my submission for the reflection photo assignment. This is a big step for me. It's my first time seeking professional feedback on my photography. I'm excited to receive constructive criticism as it will help me improve my skills as I grow as a photographer. Sony A7 Mark III ISO 1600, 26mm f5 at 1/320th of a second. Thank you, Janine, for submitting. Let's go, Janine. So you'll notice right off the bat that your picture's too small. I can't zoom in on it. This is actually the entire picture. And when I do go big, you can see how it's pixelized, like it's called rasterizing. This is what happens when you send in a picture that's not the right size. And when you submit from mobile, when we request that you submit from desktop. So as far as, I mean, I know it's your first submission. It's okay photo. This is taking a picture, which is I saw something. I'm going to take it. What we're trying to get you to do is make pictures, which is I have an idea. I'm going to execute it. And that's what we're trying to get you to do within this submission series. The whole idea is not, let's go walk around the city and see what I see and take photos. It's, let me look at some working photographers that are making money with the craft and how they're using reflections. Let's see how a working photographer is using reflection. And then grab a friend. Go out with your friend and figure out how to use your friend to shoot a reflection. Going out alone and just shooting leaves on the ground, sadly, it's not enough Janine, no one is going to pay you to do this. One thing that you have to ask yourself with every photo that you make, especially if you're trying to be a pro photographer, is who would pay me to do this? Who? So if you ask yourself when you're looking at this photo, who would pay me to shoot a puddle on the street and a fence? The answer was nobody, which means that this photo sadly is only interesting to you. So this is not to hurt your feelings. This is to make you better. This is to make you better. And if it was now a portrait of your friend and she was now sitting here like this on her phone, and then there's the reflection of her on her phone, now that's a picture that I'm interested in because it's context. Like, it's a cool spot and there's a person in it, and the person could be who's hiring you. Like, there's a context. This is a location without an idea, which we have to now add the ideas to your photographs. Is this a photo of a reflection? Absolutely. Is it a photo that you're going to submit to a contest and win an award for? I don't think so. So the idea is you have to try harder. I want you to level yourself up and start thinking about executing ideas. You can be a brand new photographer out in the world executing ideas, or you can be a brand new photographer out in the world taking pictures of what you see. Which one do you think is going to make money faster? I'm telling you, it's the person who's brand new outside with a friend executing ideas, with a product. Go to the store, buy a pair of Jordans, bring the Jordans, bring the Jordans home and try to take pictures of them. Like, you have to execute ideas with a camera. You can't just take pictures of what you see. It's not enough, because literally you're competing with people who have these. You know what I mean? They take pictures of what they see. Not very seriously, but you've invested in a camera because you say you want to be a better photographer. How you become a better photographer is by executing ideas. And that's how you'll actually get paid. I hope that brings you value. That is Janine. Welcome. Thanks for submitting. All right. Next photographer. This is Mike Morrison. Mike says, I shot this 53 Chevy at a classic car dealership. Planning to approach them about shooting some of their inventory. Shot with a Sony A7R5 with a 24-70. Grandmaster shot at 24. A 50th of a second, 5.6 ISO 250. Mike Morrison. Mike, this is what I'm expecting from you. I need this kind of care and compassion when it comes to making your photographs. Let's break it down. This is good, Mike. I get right off the bat, I like it. Right off the bat, I like it. I want you to be wary of shooting cars wide angle, which is something that I'm noticing that you're doing a lot. You have a massive space here. You can back up and shoot with a 50. When you shoot wide angle, yes, you're able to get a deeper depth of field, but you can also shoot with a 50 with the deeper aperture in order to get not such, it doesn't aberrate the car so much. You lean towards the tendency of wide angle, and I'm trying to help you break that. This photo, by the way, it is so much better than what you submitted where you see me not happy with you. So this is great, and this is a usable image, but there's things that I want you to be watching. I want you to be shifting lenses. I want you to be changing your perspective so you're not always gravitating towards the widest your lens goes. Okay? That's something that you'll notice. There's no wide angle car photography in advertising. If you look at advertising, it's shot quite like telephoto. It's shot quite cinematic. So Sean Thomas in his car photography and how he kind of like is he started shooting like with like a cinematic perspective, and that's never hyper wide angle. So I want you to be thinking about that as we're developing you, Mike. Like, and you shoot with a 24-70. That's the lens. It'd be super if you bought a 50 millimeter. It would be super. It would change your reality. So horizon line. Let's look at the horizon line. For me, this horizon line could go low. It could go much lower. Although you're showing reflection. Like that's the assignment, is show reflection. And you are showing reflection. Like it's a pass. Like I'll give it a pass for me. But we're also showing a lot. We're showing a lot of like extra top. You have to make a vertical picture. So it's one of those things like, how are you going to do this in order to like utilize the frame? I gave you a tricky shot, but for me, Mike, this is a good execution. I'm giving you love. This is a good execution. I'm also giving you an 11 because of the clever use of perspective and the interesting angle. But I do want you to be hyper aware of how often you're gravitating towards wide angle. It's super important. You said, Mike Morrison says, and it's important, I think, to let Mike give his 2 cents. He says he has some other frames, which he obviously shot with like a bit more of a cinematic perspective, but it didn't show the reflection as much, which is why he used this one. Mike, I appreciate and I understand it's sometimes hard to like bounce this stuff through your head. What I would have done in this is I would have wet the floor. I would have just like got some bottles of water and put some puddles of water down here. Like just get water bottles, put some puddles of water, and then after you shoot the picture, just get paper towel and wipe it up. And that would have actually enhanced your reflections a little bit more. I hope that helps, Mike. Mike Morrison, everybody. I'm giving you an 11 on that one, my guy, if that wasn't clear. Again, just because it is a banger and you're looking at home like, oh my God, that's amazing. And it's, yeah, it's amazing. But Mike's in my accelerator. And when you're in my accelerator, you have, like, I'm giving you the kind of things and the kind of critique that art director is going to be seeing, a car editor is going to be seeing, somebody who edits a car magazine, a dealership's going to be seeing. So somebody who specializes in car advertising is going to be seeing. So I'm trying to help Mike have an eye that's like, look at his work with the same kind of scrutiny that an art director or a potential client's going to look at it. I hope that helps you. All right. So our next, and by the way, if anyone becomes a member because you're at home and you want to chat, because you're at home and you want to support this crazy thing that I'm doing here, if you become a member, first thing that happens is the smoke. That's the first thing that happens. Second thing is I give you a little bit of a light show. You know, the light show is a good vibe, and that changes the atmosphere, changes the tempo, starts the season of people becoming members. So please consider becoming a member. It's literally how this channel goes. It's how I run this channel. All right, our next submitter. Let's get it on. Daniel Van Cleef. Daniel says, this week I experimented with some new ideas and my girlfriend helped by modeling. Although that didn't work out as planned, it sparked some fresh concept though. So I ended up working solo again. I used a mirror, water, and a small glass pyramid to explore symbolism. The reflection represents my inner self, while the pyramid symbolizes the sacred knowledge within us, our creative soul. Though I had a better pyramid positioning in other shots, I think I had some difficulties framing myself. I like the expression in this one the most. Let me know what you think. Used a flash with an umbrella, fill light, ambient light from the window, and Capture One Pro final. Fuji X Pro 3, 500 ISO, 2/50th of a second. F9 at 50 millimeter with a cropped sensor. This, guys, is Daniel Van Cleef. Daniel, Daniel, this is dope. This has a vibe, man. This has a vibe, and it's sometimes tricky to include yourself within these photos, but this has a vibe, and it's a yes right off the bat for me. Let's have a look at it close up. Your focus is ripping, like the expression on your face is crazy, dude. And then also the way that you used water here over top of your face to create this like aberration, really creative. And the thing I really like about this, Daniel, is this is an idea. This is a set that you could use again. This is a set. This is an idea. This is an execution that you could do with another person. This could be something that you repeat over and over and over again. So I do like this. I do like this a lot. The way that your hand angle is, perhaps like maybe your hand doesn't need to be so, see the focus. Yeah, I think maybe just the wrist. I know that you wanted to have your hand here. Just the way the wrist is hard breaking. I would maybe bring your, again, you tried to keep your elbows out. This hand is like, the position of this hand is great. Just the way that this wrist is breaking. It's the one thing that, that I'm just noticing. Couple of little dings in the paper or the cloth fabric background that you could just fix in post. But other than that, for me, Daniel, this is a yes. This is an absolute 11. This is a banger. Like, really, again, I try to shy you away from using yourself in these executions because it's hard to have a portfolio of pictures of you. And these are supposed to be for your portfolio, but you killed this one. You killed this one. You really did, Daniel. So I got to give you love. This is an 11 for me. Well done. Do you guys like seeing the photos on a black background now instead of a white? Isn't it so much better? Isn't it so much better? Guys, our next shooter, this is Doyle Daniels. Doyle says, got in right under the wire. Wanted to use this opportunity to create a self-portrait for the website I'm currently designing. So just getting ready just made sense to me. Although I wanted to use my strobes some more as I have very little experience with them. So little side note, shaving cream starts to burn after a while. Shot on the Z8 35mm 1.8 lens at 5.6 ISO 100 at a 2/50th of a second. This is Doyle Daniels. Ladies and gentlemen, Doyle. Hilarious. Doyle, this is great. And again, I know a truly difficult shot to execute, I'm sure. The way you're very close to the edge of the frame here and obviously here. I wish there was a way to see more of this head here and have you pushed in, like here, pushed in over a little bit so we can see a little bit more of the tattoos. This is a big box of white, sadly, and there's really a small little point. Like, I wish your face was bigger. Like, if this was a vertical assignment, obviously you would have been able to compose this and have this as a double page spread quite easily. But still, this is an absolute yes for me, Doyle. This is an absolute yes for me. Let's look at it closer. Can I get closer, please? Yeah, this is a yes for me, Doyle. It's so funny, dude. This is a yes. And again, it's like, oops, I shave my head using like electric. And I mean, I do it like every couple of days. You can see my hair's growing back in. Shaving cream and doing all of that, bro, I couldn't imagine going through that process to bring my, like, I do it like I'm walking around the house, like I'm on my phone and I'm just like, I gotta turn you on it, my guy. But for me, the frame is epic. The composition with the frame is really epic. Let me just push my masthead into position. And yeah, I like this a lot. it's just clever. The framing is clever, and it has that vibe for me. Guys, this is Doyle Daniels. I'm giving you an 11, my guy. Very tricky. And Nick is saying a really great level up on your strobe use. So you're getting compliments from the community. So good for you, Doyle. Yeah, and the funny thing is, I said nothing about the exposure because it's perfect. I said nothing about the light because the light's pretty good. So it's pretty funny, right? Like when there's things that I'm like, I should have complimented you. Great light, a great idea. It just small little things that I said there, but you're getting it. You have to just keep trying. Make your light was a little low. Sky it a little bit. You can see here based on this where the catch light is in your eye. You see where the catch light is in your eye here, and where this nose shadow is here and the tip of your nose. That means that light, I should have used a straight line. That means that light is like here, where it should be like up here. Seen? So it's just about the angle of the light. But as the more you practice, the more you'll get it, my guy. Guys, Doyle, thank you so much. All right. Our next submitter, Romeo Fowler. Hello, much love and blessings. It's been a pretty rough few days for us here in Western North Carolina with Hurricane Helen. I didn't get to shoot the subject I had plans to shoot due to our roads being impossible to travel. So my daughter stepped in for the assignment and just now got some internet as it's been out for days. I'm thankful that my family and I are still here. Very happy you're still here, Romeo. Romeo is dealing with Hurricane Helen in North Carolina, and I've seen the footage of the devastation, and it is not pretty. So glad you're with us still. Guys, this is Romeo Fowler. Romeo, this is a yes for me, Romeo. This is a yes. There's a couple of things that I want you to watch that I saw, that I'm seeing right away. Because this reflection is epic. The hard part is the table that I see under. So because I see the table here and your piece of reflection material here, there has to be a way to like have your daughter move her elbow so she's covering that, or you have to punch in and crop that, because I think that that's happening on both sides. I can see where it ends right here, and then I can see the table here. I notice everything, and it's like you have to also assume if it's there, someone's going to see it, because like photographers, creatives, we're obsessed over this stuff, and we should be. So it's about really being able to notice all of those small things in our frames and fixing. I know you didn't want to cut the elbow because you've heard me complain about that so often when you're so close here, so you had to give it some room. But you just have your daughter do it, like have her stretch her arm out a little bit more. Your retouching in your post-production, Romeo, is getting so much better. So much better. You've come so far with your skin retouching. And then also I'm noticing you had to do skin retouching here and also skin retouching here. You did great with this super clean reflection. Like, this is a yes for me. This, like, you're getting so much better. This is unequivocally an 11 for me. This is really good, Romeo. Really good. Let's look at it as a cover. Like, just, this is a yes. Absolutely a yes for me. So good, Romeo. Like, again, I remind you, this is what you have. This is the talent that you have. This is in you. This is what your potential is. Like, this is a magazine cover. And look how captivating this is with the reflection. Would this have been as strong with the reflection? Very well done, Romeo. So again, you see, guys, like the level of the photography, and Romeo didn't start this way. Like, he started like everybody else did from the start. Let's see our next shooter. And by the way, guys, thank you. If you're watching live, I appreciate you. The Auto Lux Imageries, also known as Sean Thomas, the Calligraphies, the Mike Steinmetz, the Nick Johnsons, the Joe Franklins, the Brandon Fenties, the Liza Hiders, the Bubba Bass Anglers. Let's go. My Mike Morrisons, appreciate you. My Anakayas, appreciate you. My Ammond Photos, and everybody else who is watching that isn't in chat. Chat's dope. You got to hang out in chat, and please consider subscribing. You can also control my chat, I believe, by using secret commands, and that puts some pretty cool graphics on channel and stuff like that. So you can do all kinds of stuff here. I try to make it entertaining for you to watch. All right. So, high quality content. Is it gonna? There you go. That is my stream controlling. The only thing is there is no more time warp or big brain because it's distracting for my viewers. So let's get into our next shooter. Our next shooter, just a touch of reflections. It was 1 p.m., but it was quite dark. It was 1 p.m., but it was quite dark. I had to play with the image a bit. Her jacket got a lot of small drops. I had to remove them. Also, I had to remove some hair, but could get everything out without destroying the picture. Some skin retouch in Lightroom. Do your skin retouch in Photoshop. Watch some tutorials on skin retouching. Sony A7 IV 50mm 1.4 at 5.6. ISO 1600 at 1/100th of a second. This is Samuel. This is great. I mean, it's your portrait shooter, and it is definitely a portrait. This is strong. It's demure. Let's look at it as a cover. You're giving her a little bit too much headspace in this one. It's almost like you're dropping her head dead on the horizon line, because you are. It's like right 50% through the frame. We want her eyes to drop around here, especially if you're shooting a cover. So you could definitely push, because then what that does is it shows a little bit more of her outfit. You know what I mean? A little bit more of her body style. The reflection, yes, definitely, and being able to see through the glass and having some lights back here or chandelier, some things of points of interest, and also the color balance, like how it's warm in the background and then neutral here. This color balance here is a bit green. You're noticing it looks a little green-yellow. So I want you to watch that. And then also, you said it was 1 p.m. 1 p.m. and it's an overcast day or a rainy day. The sun is still very high in the sky at 1 p.m. And you can tell because of she has this very hyper dark above her eyes here. And because this woman has deep set eyes, this shadow here on top of her also using this copper eyeshadow and filling in that groove dark, it makes her eyes look super hollow. So this is a picture where I would use a reflector in order to kick a little bit of light in here to kind of try to fill in here a little bit. She's also raising her eyebrows, which is giving her wrinkles on her forehead. Like she's literally going like this. Like you told her to stand there and she went like this, and then she raised her eyebrow, and then you took her picture while her eyebrows were up. So it's like you have to get your subjects to relax their forehead It's tricky, but you have to get them to relax their forehead. You have to be like, relax your forehead, just chill out. Like, and then you watch their head goes, and then it just comes back down to normal. And then you shoot the picture. So for me, Samuel, this is, again, it's strong, but the horizon line and where you're dropping your eye line, I know you offset her in order to show us this reflection. I mean, if it's fine. Your composition, size here, distance here, it's fine. It's just where her eye line is through the frame. And I know you did that to try to save this chandelier, but it's not that important. It's not that important. The reflection of her is the most important. So again, and the color balance, it's just, it's blue. It feels blue. It feels green. And then that affects her skin tone. And then the exposure on her skin tone, this is about a third overexposed, which then makes her look washed out even more. And the contrast between the super white and the dark eyes is not flattering for her. So again, like when you're shooting, sometimes older women, they need like a little bit of light. They need a little bit of light. And if you're trying to go natural light, it's got to be the right natural light. And 1 o'clock on an overcast day, the sun's up there, top down, raccoon. It's just that's not the right time to go out. It's just not the right time to go out, because even on an overcast day, the sun is still directly above you and you're getting top down light. Even if it's diffused, which I can see it's diffused, it's still giving her super hollow eyes. I hope that helps you, Samuel. Samuel Salling, everybody. All right. Our next shooter is Stu Bowden. Since 2020, Brisbane prices have soared 65%, leaving many buyers to rent as landlords sell high. Tenants are displaced, scrambling for shelter amidst fiercely competitive rental market. Many have been forced into cars, houses, share houses, or are back with families struggling to find stability. It's not just young adults. In less than a week, Riley's family will move again. His fourth move in 6 years. Fear etched on his face. He reflects on the uncertainty. It's very scary. You don't know where your things will end up, or if they'll even get to the next house. My son's reflection from a laminated shop window. The distortion created by the glass subtly displaces the edges of his face to the echo of the uncertainty he's experiencing. Fuji X H2 Sigma 56 millimeter 1.4 84 millimeter FOV. And well, I mean, yeah, it's an 84 mil. He shot in an 84 perspective. Because he's shooting a crop sensor, and ISO 250, 1.6, 1/250 of a second. Shot at 1.6, Stu, 1.6. Let's have a look at this picture from, ladies and gentlemen, Stu Bowden. Stu. Let's look at the focus here. You're pretty on point with the focus. I just want you to watch the shooting a 1.2 lens at 1.4. You could really shoot this at f2, and depth of field wise, it would be exactly the same. It's just we lose this second eye. You have this eye, but you lose this second eye as focus, and you start to lose the outside of his head. So for me, the sweet spot for faces is f4, and I know ISO wise you're worrying about going too far, but I love the aberration. I love this doubling is great because of the through the glass. I think that it's super sick. Being able to see partial of the reflection of the room that you're looking at him, but also this little haze down here, I think is really great, the way that it looks on his hands. It's just the color balance. It feels quite warm, which is okay in context, but if this is gray, what I would try to do is like get the color balance from here, do the white balance from there, and then see how it looks. Skin tone wise though, it looks okay. Exposure, you could probably go up by like a third or maybe less, maybe like 0.2, like 20%. Just a little bit brighter. But for me, Stu Bowden, this is really strong. And again, it's like the uncertainty, the look in his face, the vibe, the story. Just watch the head here, that you're not too close back here. You're very centered with the face here. The eye line is really strong there. We have great room here for a magazine cover. A little bit of room here for copy. So again, this is a yes. I just want you to watch those few things that I mentioned. Stu Bowden, really good vibes. Where's the good vibes graphic? Did you activate the good vibes graphic? Or I don't know, did it show? I'll give you my good vibes. Did it show? Let's make sure that we are making clips here. Again, this setup that I have Guan in here is pretty sick. And again, I have no clips yet made. That's very weird. I just saw someone say clip calligraphy, but I didn't see a clip made. So that's bizarre. Bizarre. It should be making clips for me, but it hasn't made any yet. All right. Let me just check on. I don't know if you guys are into my music, but I'm kind of feeling it right now. I'm kind of feeling it. And the vibe is that if you watch the replays, you'll notice there's no music. The music is only for the people who watch me live. All right. Our next shooter. That was Stu Bowden. Our next shooter is Travis Silverman. Travis said, I had tons of fun with this one. I've been waiting a long time to shoot this person. Savoy Howe, boxer, boxing coach, and founder of Toronto News Girls Boxing Club. What an amazing character. What an amazing human being. And handsome. Such a lover of old cars, and this Pontiac Firebird means a lot to her and made her feel handsome. Shot in a loading dock by her mechanic building. Shot in a loading dock by her mechanic behind the building where the boxing club was located, about 20 years. Nikon Z6, Nikkor 24-70. Shot at ISO 100 f4.5 at 1/25th of a second. Off-camera strobe. This is Travis Silverman. Travis. This is a great shot as far as reflections. Like the car is super, super shiny. Super shiny. I like the body language. Let's see how it drops on the cover. The head angle is a little high in the frame for a cover. You can see I'd like this head to drop like right there just to give a little bit of room. Also, when you go to 8x10, because your frame is so tight, when you go to 8x10, you lose 1 inch, which is here. That's an inch off the top. And you lose an inch off the bottom. And the inch off the bottom is here. So that's now what it looks like when it goes to Instagram, which is quite tight. I feel like we could have moved back a little to give a little bit more, or rather than having the hand pushed out like such a locked arm, because this arm is quite locked and rigid, and like you just have her bend this elbow here and cross that arm here, and then even put her hand like this on top of the hood, and now it brings that leading line like this, which brings you back into her, brings the leading line here, which brings you back into her. And then the head angle, you can change the head angle, which will bring the head angle lower. So that also does the same here. And then you position yourself in order to make that work with seeing the reflection down here. But for me, this arm, it feels a bit rigid. I'm hoping that you have some other frames. Exposure-wise, let's go in a bit tighter. Exposure-wise, I feel like this could go up like probably a third. Even if you used a meter and shot to the meter, it still could go up. Also, your strobe, you used your strobe like dead, almost camera position, because it's like right there, which means there's no modeling or shaping in the face. You could bring the strobe from the left, or bring the strobe from the right, or bring the strobe from up to bring it like, but this is almost like passport kind of straight on lighting. So be very wary of where you're positioning the light. Like, it's super, super important. This is why the light on her face is relatively flat. There's no shape. It's just brighter. So I want you to work on, especially when you're using outdoor strobe, this is a perfect opportunity to try something radical. Use like a softbox. I think that you did this just straight reflector. Bring it in from this side. See what it looks like coming in that way with like a little bit of a shadow on that side of the face, or bring it in a little bit more from the front. So you have like a little bit of shaping here, but like a little bit more top down. Like, make it like sun, make it fake sun, pretend it's the sun. So position it in such a way, use some scrims and stuff like that, that makes it look like it's sunlight coming in here rather than just a strobe in the exact same position that your camera is. It's I know lighting is like you could light this a little bit more creatively. So those are my inputs for you, Travis Silverman. I would love to see another frame. Just post it in Just Chatting. I'd love to see what else you shot with this. All right. Let's see next. Reflections. Who's next? This is Mike Lilly. Mike says, this week's assignment brings us to another corporate office building in Port Orange, Florida. Shot in a Sony a7 III, Rokinon 35mm 1.4, f3.5, 40th of a second. ISO 100. Thanks for your support and indulgence. This is Mike Lilly. Everybody, Mike, for me, it's like, yes, shows reflections. Yes. You're like, I feel like you're better than this picture. This little space down here kind of bothers me. Like, for me, I just feel like this is too easy for you. I feel like this is too easy for you. Like, you're a hyper advanced photographer. And for me, the way that this feels like it's falling forward, like it's falling this way, this picture feels like it's falling, like all of these lines are kind of claustrophobically like collapsing in this way. There's nothing, like, it feels like this building is leaning over. Like, it's just, for me personally, this isn't it. This isn't it. And again, it's only because I know how good you are and I know what you're capable of with your camera. I feel like this is just a little bit like easier than what you normally do. Reflections are hard, especially with architecture, but I don't know, it's the lens choice, it's too cropped in, like, I don't know, it's the framing where it feels like it's leaning. There's a couple of things here, Mike, that just make me feel like it's not your best. Yeah, I don't know what to say. Like, I know how great you are, so I know this isn't going to hurt your feelings. I just know that this isn't a picture that it's not strong enough. It's just not strong enough. I feel like you might even have better edits from this session. So I'd be interested in seeing what else you shot here, Mr. Mike Lilly. All right, we are ramping it up. Let's see who's next. Our next shooter is Liza Hyder. Liza is Jody with SMG Modeling Agency. The assignment entailed an afternoon shopping for the right mirrors, and I finally found these cool square mirrors at Home Depot. Taped them onto a concrete wall in my building. Shattered too during the process. Gorilla Glue was the only adhesive that did the job. Worked great. Noticed blue and yellow patio chairs and tables reflecting into my shot, so I had to go outside and rearrange all the furniture, making sure they were out of frame. Do you see the level of detail necessary to be a professional photographer? You'll notice, Liza is in my accelerator. Like this group that we're looking at right now are all accelerator members. And the level of detail that it takes to be a pro. And if you're watching at home, listen to what my other photographers do. Listen to how crazy they are. She saw that in the reflection, she could see distractions in the back of her frame that she knew I would have commented on. So she stopped shooting, went outside and rearranged the furniture to make it perfect, and then came back and continued shooting. Psycho. That's how you have to be. Okay? So this is Liza Hyder. So natural light combined with pink and orange LEDs. Nikon 850 and a 50 millimeter lens, 1/800th of a second, f7.1, ISO 640. This is Liza Hyder. Liza, well, obviously, Liza, you are getting so good. And imagine, these mirrors didn't exist. She bought them. She gorilla glued them to the wall for this execution. This tells you how absolutely insane you have to be to get this level of photography. Liza, this is so good. And again, I'm so proud of you, man. You've made the strides that you've made since you signed on for some coaching and then joined my accelerator. You're just going to the moon, Alice. You're going to the moon. Liza, the proof is in the pudding, girl. Come on. And I also recommended my retoucher to Liza. And tell me my retoucher didn't do you well, because I know my retoucher did this picture. I know Suhail did this photo. Yes or yes. So, Liza, I'm so proud of you. This is so good. Let's look at this as a cover. Watch your headspace. I feel like I know you're keeping this pocket. I know you were keeping this pocket. For me, that pocket's not quite as important. I know you were worried about clipping this pocket, but keep in mind, if this goes to an 8x10, we're coming right here, girl. You know what I mean? And we're going to lose some of this up here if we go to an 8x10, right? So don't be afraid to give a looser picture, shoot a looser picture and then shoot a tighter shot where you actually punch right in. Where you punch right in here, and where you're actually giving that is the frame. You know what I mean? Don't be afraid to crop in. This is great. And also I think that this frame might actually work as a double page. It could creatively maybe work as a horizontal. Liza, I'm so proud of you. Tell me that using a professional retoucher does not change the game. Oh my goodness. This is very, 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 very good. This is an 11 from Liza Hyder. Liza, congratulations. Liza, you're going to get the real smoke on that one. You're going to get the real smoke and a little light show for that picture. Congratulations. You did very good. All right. Who's next? Our next photographer is Joe Frank. Hey, Daniel. Thanks for coming and being a member again, my guy. Appreciate you. Daniel, you get the light show. And we're going to get some real smoke on Daniel. Let's see what these two are saying. Hey, you guys, are you members? Are you members? Are you a member? And are you a member? All right. I'm just making sure because it's important. It's important that you guys become members. It makes this whole thing actually work. I appreciate you. It makes this whole thing work, honestly. All right, let's get it on. Joe Franklin, S5 Mark II, Sigma 20-70, 2.8, at 45 millimeter, F11 ISO 100, 1.3 and 3.2 blended in Photoshop. This is a Joe Franklin. Joe, it is a reflection. This is all reflection. This is all reflection. It's interesting, Joe, because for me, this particular picture, it's almost like I wish you were pulled out a little bit more, because I don't know if this is a mirror or if this is just some ironwork, because there's ironwork down here. So I could be just looking through like a fence to see this. What I need is more context. You're cropping the mirror so radically in order to see what's happening in here that we're actually losing the fact that this is in a mirror. Like, we're actually losing the fact that this is in a mirror. For me, I'm seeing things. I'm seeing this little bit of the building here, which is not great. I'm seeing the vent down here. I'm seeing this door, like the handle, like, although you were walking and you're like, oh shit, a mirror. Let me shoot a picture for this assignment. This isn't the spot, Joe. This isn't the spot, and this isn't a use of reflection that gives us enough context. We're aiming down the stairs, and then, which means it puts the chandelier positioning really low and strange. There is nothing sexy about this location. It's not the Royal York Hotel. It's just a spot, and this is just a mirror. Like, the mirror isn't even that, like, wow. And when you really, really break down the mirror and start looking at the mirror, you're like, ugh, what's going on in here? You know what I mean? Like, it's not even like beautifully cleaned, restored, wiped. Like, it's just not a thing, Joe. And all of this is just lowering your brand. Seeing the vent back here, seeing this, it's just all, hey, Josh McCoy, welcome back, my guy. Thanks for becoming a member again. Josh McCoy, welcome. Josh. Thanks for becoming a member, Josh. Welcome back. Light show. The light might, I don't want to give anybody epilepsy, but thank you for becoming a member. Appreciate that. So, yeah, Joe, I think that I don't think that. I know that. I know that you're a better photographer than this. I know that you can find better executions of, or better reflections that you can execute. For me, seeing this railing, like, this is just an average hotel. You know what I mean? Is what it looks like. So it's like, I need you to go and dig deeper for architecture that is really going to make your portfolio sing. This picture sadly is not going to make it in the portfolio. Guys, Stephen Boudreau back. 10 months. 10 months, baby. That's a streak. Stephen, the light show is yours, and I appreciate you for becoming a member as well. I appreciate you, Stephen. Thank you. All right. Yeah, Joe, this isn't, I'm helping you develop your portfolio. I'm helping you develop your portfolio. So I know what your portfolio is starting to look like, and I know that this picture's not going to make it. So although it's a reflection, it's not a portfolio level picture. So it qualifies as a reflection, but doesn't qualify as something that's going to move your needle. Therefore, there's no point in showing it, shooting it. That's what you have to, like, you have to pre-edit yourself, where it's like, I mean, sometimes you just shoot it and look at it after and be like, is this going to get me hired? And again, for you, that's your question. Is this going to get me hired? If this was the only photo they ever saw of you, is this going to get you hired? And I think the answer is probably not. So that's why for me, it's not like good enough. It's not even good enough at your, like, because I've seen your photos. I know what you can do. It's not good enough for even you, Joe. So you got to keep pushing, keep trying, and keep submitting. All right, guys, that is Joe Franklin. Ooh. Nick Johnson. Nick, I'm busy rebuilding my book and took the opportunity to work in the assignment during a shoot last week. Shot with the R6 Mark II 70-200 at 180. f5.6, 1/100th of a second. Don't worry, there's our tripod. Rather than showing a direct mirror image in camera, I decided to use the reflection in a somewhat subtle way. Sometimes when working in a white studio space, the environment can be a bit sterile. So I took the advantage of the floor to ceiling windows on the south side of the room and used a prism just outside the front lens element to reflect light and color back to the lens for this headshot of Brannigan. This, babies, is Nick Johnson. Nick! Oh my God! Nick is on fire right now. Nick, this is so strong, my guy. It's so strong. Let's look at it as a cover. For me, the only thing that I'm complaining about, and this is one thing, but it's very important. It's where you're dropping her eyes on the horizon. They're too high. Her eyes are too high. They need to come here. Honestly, Nick, look down here. You're not losing anything. What you're going to be able to do is you're going to move her down. So you're going to basically end up cropping right there. You still see her hand, but you crop out her bandeau. And again, it's the smallest thing, but once you give me that crop, it just sits on a cover so nicely. Also, this is dead sharp and dead focus, but with this, we have quite a bit of space over here, and we're a little tight here. So I'd love to be able to have her pushed over just a bit. But Nick, these are like, do you want to see this close up? Do you want to see this skin close up? Like, Nick, this is nuts. The makeup is on point. Like, you found a crew, bro. Your retouching is on point. Skin is super delicate. Like, your depth of field is watch so you're not getting this eye like super tack and this eye just a little soft, because you can see she's on two different planes. Oops. She's on two different planes with her eyes, right? So this one's closer than this one, and this is going just a touch soft. So again, you're reading, like for me with these kinds of super tight face shots, I don't go any more open than f4 because I want both of those eyes to be super, super tack. I mean, in this case, that second eye is behind the prism, so it's kind of okay. It's not anything that I'm really stressing about. But holy moly, Nick, this is killer. Killer, 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 killer chicken dinner. Like, holy moly. Really good. Really good. Yeah, I don't know why my clips aren't happening today, guys. But, all right. Nick, very proud of you, my guy. This is absolutely killer. I'm giving you an absolute 11. An absolute 11. And I'm giving you love because this is a fantastic picture. And again, I'm building a monster with this guy. Like, literally building a monster with this guy. This is killer. Killer. You definitely are making me want to go buy one of those Prizzy Prisms. All right. Amazing. Anna Kaya. Anna says, hello, Carty crew. I'm stepping outside of my primary niche for this assignment. I was asked to photograph some interior spaces, and this reflection caught my eye. I love the simplicity of the setup within the asymmetrical mirror, along with the touch of sunlight on the floor. Shot in HDR with 7 exposures between a 2/50th of a second and a quarter of a second, f8, 250, with a 50 millimeter on my Nikon D7, D70, 780. Nikon D780. Thank you for your feedback. This is Anna Kaya, everybody. Anna, this is a yes. This is unequivocally a yes for me, Anna. It's very, very, very strong. Look at it as a cover. It's beautiful. It's interesting. It's beautiful. It's very well done spatially. You can see, you can see spatially what it looks like here, right? Here. My only worry is when we go to an 8x10 or when we go to Instagram. When you put this to Instagram, this is an inch. So that's your inch there. And then here is your next inch. There's your inch here. So, Anna, what you're going to have to do, and even for your client, because your client's going to want to post this to Instagram and they're going to be like, what you have to do is extend the background and match the color. So you have to extend the background this way. Oops. Extend the background this way. Right? And this way to make it 8x10, and then just like do like generative fill or whatever, like whatever you have to do to make this match the same, so you can give them the full image without them having to crop it. I know that this is so easy to extend the white. You can pixel stretch. There's so many different ways to do it. So, but this is absolutely a banger. Absolutely. Like so good. And imagine for you to keep this within your niche is you have a subject sitting literally right here. You have a subject sitting here, like on their phone. You know what I mean? On the table, in the mirror. Like it's such a clever idea. You shoot this so clean. This is executed so well. The discipline with your framing here and here and here and here. The little dappling of sunlight that's coming through, good exposure on the flowers. Yeah, really placed well. Like this is really strong, Anna. You should be really pleased with this. Really great. Really, really strong. Giving you an 11, 11, 11. 11, 11, 11. This is... We're in our final 3, folks. This is Sean Thomas. Sean says, blessings to all. I hope all is well. Here is... something a little different for this week. Can you see what it is? EOS R, 80th of a second, 7.1 ISO 200, shot on at 49 millimeter, shot on a Tamron 24-70 at 2.8. I call this shot Taylor Beam. I hope you enjoy. This is the one and only Sean Thomas. Sean. Yes. Yeah, this is a yes for me. This is a yes. I'm going to show you in a second just what I would do in order to fix it. But this is a yes for me, Sean. I really like this a lot. The first thing that I see here is... the first thing I see is this up here. And how I don't need any of that up here. I don't need any of that. Because it's almost like seeing that tree... it's like a third picture or a second picture up there that's unnecessary. So look at this. If I just open this picture and crop it and just take that out, look at how much stronger that is. That's it. Like I did one thing. Look, that's all I did is that. And look how much stronger that is. Now look at that and look how even stronger it is now that I've taken out that little bit of distraction up on the top. Just this little bit of distraction. See the difference? So now I see the car and the reflection, and that's it. So don't try to include extra stuff in your frame that's not necessary. For me, I would just literally everything below here is unnecessary. So it works out because when you post to Instagram, that's what it's going to look like. And you can also crop this and show this as a 9x12 instead of showing it as a full 8x12, which is the whole frame. Sean, this is a win for me. Let's look at it a little closer up so I can give you a little bit of scrutiny. File-wise, the file looks good. You're sharp. I can read the logo on the side of the tires. Oops. I can read the logo on the side of the tires. Yeah, this is good for me, Sean. Again, just watch that small area where you're cropping. The car's nice and clean. Although you had to bring it here, so it's going to have some dirt on the tires and a little bit of kickback, but the rest of the paint is really good. Yeah, this is a yes. This is a yes. This is a yes. This is a yes for me, Sean Thomas. Small thing. And again, for you, this is a yes. Will it make it to your book? Yeah, it could make it to your book. But I mean, again, I feel like you have like just nicer cars in your book, so it's like I want to make sure that we're not doing anything that's going to lower your brand. So again, it's like I don't know if I was looking at this with all the rest of your photos and editing your portfolio like I have done live. By the way, you can watch me reviewing and helping Sean put his portfolio together on I'll actually link it in the video description. You can watch me review and help Sean put his portfolio together on my channel. I did a whole episode of it. Sean, for me, it is a yes. It is not an 11 because it's not like as killer as you are. You know what I mean? You're just way sicker than this personally. But still, you know, it's a good picture. You know what I mean? I just know like we're trying to find we do spectacular is what we don't do good, we don't do great. We don't do amazing. We do spectacular, which is actually off the chart. That's where we're trying to be. All right. That is Sean Thomas, everybody. Sean Thomas. Josh McCoy shot with the DJI Mini Pro 3, 1/4000th of a second at 1.7 ISO 100. This is Josh McCoy. Josh. Well, this is a yes. This is a absolute yes for me. Josh is a drone pilot. This is a yes. I mean, this is almost a mathematical picture. It's composed so very, very beautifully. Your horizon line is 100%. I mean, in this case, you're using this almost as a mirror, which I appreciate. You're using this like a mirror. You put your horizon dead, and then it's like, we have two cranes, like it's just a literal mirror image. I really think that this is strong. This is a yes for me, Josh. This is a yes. This is a really strong, well-disciplined, well-exposed, perfectly executed picture. So this is a yes for me. As a magazine cover is what it would look like right there, people. All right. So, yes, Josh, by the way, if I wasn't clear, this is a yes and an 11. And lastly, oh shit, I have to do something. I got to fix the wheel spin. I got to make sure that the wheel spin is right. All right, let's see. And also, yeah, there doesn't need to really be wheel spins anymore for the portfolio reviews because yeah, I'm just going to brief you and tell you what I want to see. All right, now last is Mike Steinmetz. Measured reflection, added some blue highlights with a Vivitar RGB LED panel. Vivitar still around? Wow. Trying to complement the Heart brand blue. Plexiglass, black plexiglass shows everything. Lint, dust, cat hair. Yes. R8 70 to 200 at 93 millimeter, 0.8 of a second, f14, ISO 100. This is Mike Steinmetz. Mike. Ooh, that's not you, Mike. That is Mike Steinmetz. Let's go, Mike. Mike, this is definitely reflection. Black plexiglass shows everything. And again, technically, you're just getting better and better every time you submit. I really like the minimalism in this photo. Like, there's no other elements other than just this product that you're showing. You realize how hard it is to shoot on black plexi. I like the position. Because this is a tape measure, it's sort of like lifted up a little bit, which again makes the reflection look a little weird. It makes it feel like it's a little bit up. I mean, you could rotate. Like, this is something, Mike, that other than the fact that you were probably limited for time, your exposure is bang. Like, your exposure, this is 100% yes. The blue gel, I kind of am into. The reflection is a yes. Obviously, the dust, you could have been retouching dust all day. It does help to just spend the time and get it all out there. Mike, I like this. I mean, I just think it's a simple idea. I think that we could have maybe brought another couple of elements. People who aren't in the know won't know that this is a tape measure. They don't even know. They won't know what it is at all. I know it's a tape measure because I like to build things. But yeah, again, it's just we want what it is to hit one other element in here, maybe another couple of elements. But again, you definitely nailed the assignment, and it's definitely something that could make it into your portfolio. So for that, I am giving you an 11. Guys, we've made it to the end. We've made it to the end. We've made it to the end. I have to do something here. In order to have these assignments run and working splendidly. So in order for me to do that, let me do this first. It's going to take it'll take 30 seconds here, kids. Let's go to, so, yeah, and honestly, running the show here, there's a lot of things that I got to do. There's a lot of things. Okay, so this is where the camera's going to go blank for 5 seconds. And we're back. All right, so that's it. We're back. I hope that wasn't so bad. All right. I hope that wasn't so bad. All right. So now we can get into what I want you guys to shoot. Oh, first, before I get into what I want you guys to shoot, let's get into the photos of the week. Because I think photos of the week are what y'all want to hear. Who won photo of the week, Carty? Who won photos of the week? All right. Photos of the week. We are starting... Fuck, there were some really great shots this week, guys. Oh, my big brother Les. You sent me definitely a reflection, but Les, I asked for a vertical picture. You sent a horizontal. I asked for a vertical picture. You sent a horizontal. I asked for a vertical picture. You sent a horizontal. I can definitely show this picture. Say it is definitely my brother makes mirrors, and there's nothing more beautiful than seeing how butter my brother paints. But it's had to be a vertical picture, Les, so I can't give you a deep dive because I can't set precedent for not following the brief, even if you're family. All right, so our first, let's get into photos of the week here, people. Oh my goodness. This is really tricky. I'm going to just straight shot. This is the best of the week. This is the best of the week, and that's why we call them the photos of the week, people. Our first photo of the week goes to Mike Morrison. Photo of the week, Mike. This is a huge level up from you. You should be very happy. Keep in mind all the things that I've said, but I am incredibly proud of you, and I do notice all your progress. Just because I'm so incredibly hard on you, I'm trying to make you steal, and I'm trying to make you an absolute, undeniable savage photographer. So yeah, that because of that, sometimes things that you would think, oh, I'm a shoe-in, and I react a certain way, I don't want you to be like, don't ever get discouraged. All feedback is good feedback. Our next photo of the week winner, this photographer actually, I'm not going to say actually, I'm just saying when this photographer submits, he's almost relentless with making sure that he gets something that will create some sort of a reaction with me. So I really care about this. And this photograph, guys, Daniel Van Cleef. This is photo of the week from Daniel Van Cleef. Very well executed, Daniel. Congratulations. Our next photo of the week. Our next photo of the week, people. This shooter, hard times. And I'm very happy that this photographer is with us still. Guys, our next photo of the week goes to Romeo Fowler. Romeo, photo of the week in the reflections category. Romeo. Well played, Romeo. Our next photo of the week winner. Our next, the story, the photo, the compassion, all of it. It all is right here in this single frame. Everybody, our next photo of the week winner is Stu Bowden. Stu, congratulations. Photo of the week. So great, Stu. Such a moment, and also sad at the same time. Congratulations, Stu Bowden. Photo of the week. Photo of the week. Our next photo of the week goes to, and guys, I'm going to give this week, I'm doing it a little different. I'm going to give all the photos of the week, and then I'm going to tell you the best in show out of those, okay? Like I used to. Guys, our next photo of the week winner goes to, so happy with this photographer. So happy. Guys, Liza Hyder. Liza, let's go. Liza, so proud of you. You crushed this. Crushed. And also how absolutely diligent you were in making this photo at the level that you did. This is so good. I'm so proud of you, Liza. Liza, in my accelerator, has done one-on-one coaching with me. It's just like, it just shows you people who I'm not trying to like break my arm patting myself on the back. It's not me making the photos. Do you see? It's not me making the photos. But what I do is I spot talent and I just amplify. That's all I'm doing, is teaching you to do the right things. And I have goosebumps, like literally goosebumps, because of like how fucking amazing this accelerator is. If you're not on the wait list for my accelerator, what is wrong with you? If you're trying to take this thing seriously, like, look, just sit at home and just watch other photographers right before your very eyes get amazing. Like, it's happening in this photo review system. This is why I added a second show. And I was going to do this for beginners, but I realized that's not the plan. We're doing this as an alternate for people who want to submit like pictures that they're thinking, should this go in my portfolio or not? Like pro level work just outside of the constraints of an assignment. Pro level work just outside of the constraint of an assignment. And also, if you're like, if you want to see how good you are, if you want to see like where you are, like as far as from a pro's opinion, I'm going to say, hey, you have some work to do. You should be working on this. You should be working on this. Or, oh my God, you're way better than you thought you were. So it's so valid to have a pro look at your work. Guys, that photo of the week is from Liza Hyder. Liza, congratulations. Next photo of the week. Next photo of the week, again, you know, it was a showstopper for you as it was a showstopper for me. This shooter also coaching, also accelerator. And again, this, I say again, I don't make the photos. I just increase the frequency. And I give you the roadmap. This photographer, ladies and gentlemen, who has won photo of the week again, Nick Johnson. Let's go. Nick, such a beautiful execution. Such a twist on my idea. And incredibly well executed, Nick. Congratulations. So good. So good. Our next photo of the week winner. Our next photo of the week winner is Anna Kaya, people. Anna, so good. Like, I almost get angry because you dance in and out of niches and you smash, like you smash, and you can literally shoot anything. And I'm really trying to tune you into a finely oiled machine, a specialist. It's tricky because you continue to shoot, oh, here's some interiors. And you're shooting, it's like better than people who are in my program trying to shoot interiors. And also, oh, you want me to do it as an assignment? Here, let me just flip it as an assignment. Like, Anna, your level of creativity is fucking bananas. And excuse my French, but oh my word, another photo of the week from Anna Kaya. Congratulations, Anna. You did this amazing. All right. And we have one last and final photo of the week this week, guys. Our last photo of the week. This is like a technically perfect picture. Guys, this goes to Josh McCoy. Photo of the week. Josh, like just, yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yes. Yes. Very perfect photo. Now this week I have two very, very two very, very different photographs, but that really, really sing best in show to me. The first photo that sings best in show to me, and again, such amazing progression from this shooter. Ladies and gentlemen, your best in show, number one, goes to Liza Hyder. Best in show, Liza. Congratulations. Such effort. It's just, it shows, is all I'm going to say. It just shows. I'm very, incredibly proud of you, Liza. And our last best in show, and the end of today's episode, except for the assignment, so don't leave, because we're going to get into the assignment and you have to know what it is, so don't leave. Our last photo of the week and best in show goes to Nick Johnson with this photo right here. An absolute smasher. Congratulations, Nick. Congratulations, Liza. Congratulations to everybody who won Photo of the Week this week. And congratulations if you submitted. It takes a lot of courage to submit your photos. And I thank you for doing so. If you want to submit your photos and have them reviewed by an actual pro who's going to give you truth, the truth is an offense, but it's still true. Sometimes it's the truth. I'm speaking my truth. You can definitely get a second opinion. You can definitely have your pictures looked at by some yes men if ego strokes is what you're looking for. But if you're trying to get your work to the level that you see from some of the people who are submitting here, you have to put your stuff on the table. And it happens with every week I give an assignment. Hey, Doyle Daniels just gifted a membership. Doyle, that makes you a champion. Doyle, gifting a membership. Oh, Doyle.
You're a king. Thank you, Doyle. Doyle Daniels. Doyle paying for somebody else's membership.
Thank you, Doyle. Appreciate you. So the assignment, you want to know what you're shooting this week? I'm going to tell you. Doyle, thank you so much for that. I'm going to tell you what you're going to shoot this week. It's simple because we're going to bring in the assignment wheel of destiny. The assignment wheel of destiny. And the assignment wheel is how we figure out what it is that we're actually shooting this week. I spin the wheel and the wheel tells us what you are shooting this week. Are you ready, people? Let's get in on the assignment wheel of destiny. Spinny, spinny, spin, spin. Where it lands, I really have no clue. Product in use. Ooh, hey, Riz Khalifa. Nick gifted you a membership, my guy. Nick with the generosity. He's saying, Carty, you better turn that smoke back on, guy, because I just gifted a membership star. Nick is not Jamaican, but he just gifted Riz Khalifa. Nick, thank you, my guy. I appreciate you for your generosity. Nick crushing photos of the week, best in shows, and like doing this, gifting memberships to my community. This guy's so happy. Well played, Nick. Yeah, and Doyle, you were right in the running. A couple of things with the framing would have had you there, but for your first attempt on Studio Light, you did fantastic, my guy. You should be proud as well. I can't give photo of the week to everybody. I just can't. All right, guys. So let's get into your assignment this week, which is a product in use. Let me open my assignment directory. Please stand by while my secretary gets this open for me. Here we go. All right, we want to see a product in use. Here are your assignment details. And again, I have to tell you horizontal, vertical. I got to give you all the deets. So please stay with me. If you would like to submit, this is what you have to do for Thursday's pro assignment submission. Showcase a product within your niche. Very key. If you're a portrait photographer, you have to showcase a product with a portrait. Okay? You have to showcase a product in a portrait. If you're a portrait photographer, showcase a product within your niche being used in its intended environment. In other words, it could be an environmental product shot. It could be an environmental product shooters. Portrait shooters can focus on someone using the product. Places shooters can integrate the product into the landscape. Okay, so imagine you shoot landscapes. Go to the most beautiful landscape you can find and then grab an iPhone and then hold the iPhone out on the scene like you're taking the picture, but the iPhone becomes the product. Like that's the product, but it's in a landscape setting. Like I want you to be divergent with your thinking and deliver me something sick. Don't mail anything in. And if you shoot things, if you are in fact a product shooter, How can you showcase that product being used? The whole idea is make a product shot in use. In use. Like the product being used. This adds another dimension. It is going to create the type of lifestyle photography that is going to explode your portfolio. I'm going to make sure that myself or one of my team puts this assignment incredibly detailed. I'm going to email it. I'm going to text it to you, or I'm going to text it to you, Calligraphy, so you can take this and deliver it. And also know that the assignment is horizontal this week. Horizontal, which means you need to shoot a 4,000 wide by whatever at 100 DPI and deliver it by midnight Wednesday, which is like the day before the assignment at midnight, my time. Not your time, my time, which is Eastern Standard Time. New York time. So 12 midnight New York time. So that's 9 o'clock if you're in California, or it's the same time if you're in Florida. So that is the vibe. Calligraphy, I texted that to you so you can take that language and use it in the assignment. I got you, my guy. And yeah, basically kill it for me. 4,000 pixels wide by 100 DPI. No mobile uploads because it compresses your shot. So please don't do it. Just upload from your computer. Okay. All right, guys. I hope that brought you value. I have some new sponsors, which I'm super excited about. I have a website sponsor, meaning not Squarespace, but an alternate to Squarespace. And I also have a pretty crazy offer for some people who would like to take it. Like, yeah, anyways, I have a new sponsor. We're going to be talking about that in the coming episodes, probably on Sunday. I also have another new sponsor, which is Opus Pro, which is pretty crazy. Opus Pro, which is I make clips from my content. I use Opus Pro to make TikToks and Reels and Shorts here on YouTube. And Opus Pro approached me and asked me if I'd like to be on the Opus Pro team. So I'm like, hey, okay, I have. So that means you got sponsored, Emmett. Emmett takes care of all my shorts. Guys, I hope today brought you value. I hope you are motivated to continually level up this photography game. Honestly, this isn't a joke. This isn't a joke. This is way beyond walking and pointing your camera at shit that you see. This is all about idea execution. And trust me, if you work on executing ideas for people, you will make $1 million with your camera. And I promise you, the counter of that is if you continue to just walk around and point your camera at things that you think that you see, you're not going to make any money. And you'll eventually quit and have to do something else. So the quicker that you learn how to execute ideas, the quicker that you're going to be a photographer.
This commercial-free live stream was brought to you by the members of this channel. If it wasn't for you, we'd have to fill up these live streams with ads that would just interrupt the flow. The members of this channel make commercial-free content during these live streams possible. Consider becoming a member for $5 a month today to gain access to secret live streams, live chats, and to show your support with that crown badge next to your name. Sharing is caring. If this content has brought you value today, share it, clip it, post it to your socials. Curating and sharing helpful content makes you an expert, even if the content you're sharing isn't yours. Be a curator and share this content with your network. If you're an emerging or struggling photographer that's trying to break free from your current 9-to-5 grind and transition to the life of a working pro photographer, that's our obsession here at the Carty Method. Register, get the support you need. If you're alone and struggling at this craft, make sure you join the Carty Method community. You'll always find help in the show notes. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Find your creative and business genius with the Carty method.
I hope today brought you value. If you became a member recently, you're going to see your name scrolling across the top of the screen. Thank you, everybody who gifted memberships today. You have no idea how much it helps. Memberships are literally 70% of the income of this channel. If I didn't have members, I'd make about $300 a month. So if you want to help, I am looking for 1,000 true fans. We are 800 and a couple away. So 1,000 true fans. If you are a true fan of what I'm doing, and if you watch my content right to the end so you can actually hear these little announcements, I thank you. If you became a subscriber recently, you're going to see your name scrolling across the bottom of the screen, like Shame Better, and Jada Kleik, and Joyce Morris. Thank you all for becoming subscribers. Please visit the show notes. There is always helpful secrets and helpful tips, helpful links, and advice in my show notes. Check them out. Thank you so much for being here.